Hello everyone, it's Mr. Hippo. Moko has a ton of weapons, but which one's actually the best? Today, I'm ranking every single weapon from worst to best to show you exactly what you need to use to have the best success. Stick around because some of these rankings may surprise you. Let's get into it. First up is the first weapon in Moko, the Bats. I think the Bat is a decent weapon, and I like the fact that its ability charges pretty often, because that can be used in some really good ways, but overall it's just the most mid weapon, and it's really not great at anything. It's just kind of okay at everything, which makes it fall in the D tier. And it's in the D tier because I don't believe any weapons in Moko are bad enough to be in the F tier at all. Next up in the D tier is the Portal. I think it just isn't very good. It does no damage, and the fact that it uses a gadget is pretty interesting, but it still takes the cooldown into account with the charge time of it, so it's not that great. If it ignored the gadget cooldown, then it could be very good, but if it had like a set mana cost, but since it's variable, it's not great, and the damage without the gadget is absolutely horrendous. Next up is the C tier, and at first we have the Toothpick, I believe it's called. It's the shield one, and I think that the damage reduction in the ability is a cool idea, but it's just not that useful, especially when in Rifts it's time-based, so you need to have DPS, not tankiness. And even in the normal game, I'd rather just have something that heals me or something that does a lot of damage rather than a tank. I don't think tank is really that good in Moko unless something gets reworked. I just think it's a very mid weapon. Next in the C tier is the Staff of Good Vibes. I think it's the worser healing item that compared to the one that we'll talk about later. And I just think that it's not very good. It does low damage, and the healing does honestly isn't good enough to justify using it over a normal weapon. I think people should just use gadgets or passives instead. It's fine, but it's definitely not worth using in most situations. Yeah, this is what I meant by talking about it later. This is the Medicine Ball. I think it's a very satisfying weapon to use. The every third swing you do a bash and heal, I think is really cool. And I think it's very satisfying to use, along with the fact that it actually has a pretty decent heal. Like, it's not bad at all. So I think overall this is just a better version of the Staff of Good Vibes and a more fun version of the Staff of Good Vibes. So it's a decent weapon, probably a B tier weapon. Next up in the B tier is the Wolf Staff. I think it's actually a pretty decent weapon with both the high DPS of the main weapon and the Wolf being able to attack and tank for you. I think it's a pretty good weapon, and it's versatile in a lot of ways. I think obviously it's not great against swarms, and it just isn't as good as some of the other weapons we'll talk about, but overall it's not a bad weapon at all, and I think it has very little downsides. I'd put it at a B tier. The next and last weapon I'm going to put in the B tier is the CPU Bomb. I think the CPU Bomb is a pretty interesting weapon. I like the splash damage of it, and I think it's a very good weapon. It's obviously not good in things like Rifts, but in the normal game, it being a splash attack is very useful, and it actually does pretty good damage, especially with the huge radius of the ability. I've seen a lot of people not really like this thing and rate it pretty low, but I disagree. I think it's a very good and pretty versatile weapon, and if you run it along with some high DPS gears, I think it's a great choice. Yeah, that's all. The CPU Bomb's a decent weapon, but it does have its flaws. It doesn't have amazing DPS alone, and it does have to have certain gadgets to help it, but other than that, good choice. Next up is the first and only weapon in the A tier, the Electro Fists. I think this weapon, I didn't think it was great at first compared to the Bat, because it does a lot less damage, but the fact that its attacks chain, just like Jessie from Brawl Stars, can be very helpful. It allows it to have decent single target DPS along with good area control. So overall, I think it's a very reliable weapon, and it doesn't really have any major downsides. There's just better options. It's a great weapon. Next up is my personal favorite weapon, the Speed Shot Bow. The Speed Shot Bow is absolutely insane. Its ability of just firing super fast if you keep hitting targets is absolutely wild, and the DPS this thing can let out is absolutely insane. The only downside of it is that it can't do a splash, but if you run like the speaker or the snow globe, that can easily be fixed. So I think this weapon is easily deserving of the S tier and definitely one of the best weapons in the game, and my personal favorite. Next up is a weapon that I haven't unlocked yet, these Squid Blades. I've heard they are insane with their invisibility ability, and obviously their DPS is very good as well. This weapon's also an S2 weapon. You unlock it very late, and I haven't yet, but it seems very good, especially for long-term grinders that want to just run past all the small mobs and get to the big ones. I think it's a great weapon, and I can't wait to unlock it. And the last weapon on this list, and the last weapon of the S tier, is the Spinsicle. I think this weapon just looks insane. I also haven't unlocked this one either, but I think the weapon just absolutely looks crazy. It looks really fun to use, and it looks insanely good. It does area damage and single shot damage very well, and it hits in a full 360 radius. I just think this weapon looks cool and is an amazing weapon, and I can't wait to unlock it. Absolutely deserving of the S tier, and yeah, that's about all. And that was every single weapon in Moko. I think the weapons in Moko have a great amount of potential, and I can't wait till they add new ones, and every single one of them are pretty unique and have their own place in the game. But yeah, that's every single weapon. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you agree or disagree, comment what you think. Otherwise, like and subscribe, and I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. Goodbye.